Welcome to my channel.
Oh.
This is your daily reminder that you are amazing. Stop being too generous. You will never be satisfied until you learn this.
So imagine if every time you extended a helping hand to someone in need, instead of feeling good about it, felt irritated and even angry because that person didn't appreciate it and took it for granted. That's how you get to a point where you don't want to help anyone anymore.
But you know what? It doesn't have to be like this. Let me tell you why. Generosity can bring us happiness, but only when it's given to people who actually deserve it. The moment it's given to the wrong people, then it becomes a source of anger and irritation for us. But we keep doing it anyway. We are so blinded by our desire to be seen as nice and caring that we end up hurting ourselves in the process. I know you don't want that. So listen carefully, because I'm going to show you exactly what to do from now on so that you never get taken advantage of again. Here's the harsh truth. If you are too generous with your time, money, or emotions towards people who don't care about you, they will continue to treat you like you don't exist. Generosity without boundaries is a one-way street to resentment. I want you to remember these words. They will become your new mantra. Don't be a doormat for people who don't even wipe their feet before stepping on you. See, most of us were raised in environments where we were praised for being generous, kind, and helpful. Here's the thing. There's a difference between being generous and being taken advantage of. When you truly understand this difference, you'll realize that being generous to everyone is not only impossible, but also detrimental to your well-being. You might think, well, I just want to be nice. But let me ask you something. What happens when you try to fit a round peg in a square hole? It simply doesn't work. And that is exactly what happens when you force your generosity onto people who are unready to receive it. Your kindness gets twisted into something that no one wants. Think about it. Have you ever lent money to someone you barely know, and they end up treating you like a personal ATM? Or maybe you've helped someone move only to find out they've been gossiping about you behind your back. These experiences can make you feel betrayed and used, which is why it's crucial to be smart about who you extend your generosity to. There are some people who will always be around to take advantage of your good nature, but never be there when you genuinely need their help. It's hard to imagine why anyone would want to be treated that way. And I know what you're thinking. Well, it's not that deep. I can afford to be generous. But let me tell you something. Being able to afford to be generous doesn't give you the right to be taken advantage of. Being generous is a wonderful quality, but it should be directed towards those who appreciate and value it. Why waste your kindness on people who don't care about you? Instead, I want you to consider this. If you stopped being so generous with your time, energy, and money to people who don't deserve it, what would happen? I bet it wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? In fact, you might even find that life becomes a lot less stressful. I want you to look at all the people who come to you seeking help and ask yourself this question. Do they really need your help, or are they just too lazy to do it themselves? For example, there's a difference between helping a friend who's going through a tough time and enabling someone who's always in a tough spot because they couldn't handle responsibility. One of the biggest problems with being overly generous is that it makes you a people pleaser. People pleasers are never satisfied because they constantly trying to make others happy at the expense of their own needs. It's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. The more you pour into it, the more it seems to want, but guess what? Life isn't about constantly trying to please everyone. It's about finding joy in your journey, even if it means disappointing some people along the way. Remember, not everyone will always be happy with you no matter what you do, so why waste your precious time and energy trying to win their approval? Let me tell you a story about a man who was too generous. He had a great job, a supportive family, and many friends. But he had a habit of giving away too much of his money, time, and energy to people who didn't appreciate it. He thought that being generous was the key to happiness, but he was wrong. His generosity was making him miserable. He was constantly stressed, anxious, and burnt out. He couldn't say no to people, so he ended up doing things he didn't want to do. He neglected his responsibilities, and his relationships suffered. He was trapped in a cycle of giving and resentment. He hated himself for being weak and ineffective. Wanted to change, but he didn't know how. Then one day he met a wise man who helped him understand the importance of setting boundaries. He learned that being generous wasn't about giving everything to everyone. It was about giving what he could afford to give without sacrificing his own well-being. He started saying no to people, setting limits, and protecting his time and energy. He invested in himself and his own goals, instead of always putting others first. And guess what happened? his life changed completely. He became happier, more fulfilled, and more successful. He had more friends and better relationships. He was no longer a people pleaser or a doormat. He was confident, assertive, and generous only when he wanted to be. I want you to apply this lesson to your own life. Think about all the areas where you're being too generous, where you're giving too much of yourself to people who don't appreciate it. Maybe it's with your time, your energy, or your money. Maybe it's with your forgiveness or your trust. Maybe it's with your love or your attention. Think about all the times you've been taken advantage of, used or disrespected by the very people you've tried to help. Think about all the dreams you've given up on, the goals you've sacrificed, and the things you wanted to do but couldn't because you were too busy trying to please others. Now, I want you to take action. Start by setting boundaries. Learn to say no to people and protect your time and energy. Don't feel guilty about it. You owe it to yourself to put your own needs first sometimes. Next, focus on yourself and your own goals. Invest in yourself and your own happiness. Don't always put others before yourself. Be selfish if you have to. And finally, be selective with your generosity. Give only to those who appreciate and respect you. Don't waste your kindness on people who don't care about you. Remember, being generous is a good thing, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being. You deserve to be happy and fulfilled too. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are amazing. Keep that in mind. And that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you back for the next video. As always, keep crushing it, my friends.